In this video, I'm going to show you how you can help pDAI get to $1 faster and or any of your favorite tokens price appreciate faster through the Treasury System created by the Atropa dev. This is the Treasury System.win website. We're going to use ICHIDAI as an example here. So you can see it's 2.05x until parity, which means that it's better off to buy rather than to mint. So you can see here on the chart, it's basically getting a better deal. If I buy the ICHIDAI, I'd be using less pDAI, whereas if I mint the ICHIDAI, I'll be using more pDAI. And obviously you can see the numbers here when I click mint. Now, obviously, if you want to contribute to working together to win together, minting and burning tokens is going to be more bullish for price appreciation than buying. But buying is also going to be good because that's also going to make it valuable for the people who do mint the tokens. And this is the real key. So just to be clear, the ICHIDAI at the moment, 126,181 in circulation. If I was to click that mint, this would change to 126,182. Now, on the contract, there is also 117,364,007 that are currently burned to the contract. If I was to mint the ICHIDAI, this number would go up by 1,137. So each mint will burn pDAI to the contract, thereby reducing it from circulation. Now, I'm using ICHIDAI as an example because it currently has 142,000 in liquidity, and the pDAI narrative is literally the best narrative in all of cryptocurrency, let alone all of Pulsechain. And it currently has about 80% of that in liquidity with pDAI. So is this the right option? So how do we know? How do we figure this out? So I just use ChatGPT. So I ask it very simply, what happens when tokens are burned? So obviously pDAI. Is that bullish or bearish for price? And again, this can apply to Hex. It can apply to Pulsechain. It can apply to any token on the chain. Anyone can create these minters and work together with their friends. Can that help price appreciation? And if so, how does it help? Excellent question. Thank you very much. And it gets to the heart of tokenomics, scarcity theory, and market behavior in DeFi. Let's break it down clearly. So what happens when tokens are burned? So burning of tokens means sending it to an address that can never spend it, effectively removing it from the circulating supply. This is the crypto version of permanent deletion. So the key concept is burning reduces supply, but price only changes if demand stays the same or increases. Is burning bullish? Yes, if demand remains constant or rises. So in other words, if the demand for pDAI stays the same and or rises, this is bullish for price appreciation. And here's how it works step by step. So how burning can help price appreciation. So first, it reduces the supply. So lowers total or circulating supply, which therefore means fewer tokens available to sell. The supply-demand imbalance. If demand remains stable or increases, price per token must rise to match equilibrium. It reduces sell pressure. Burning tokens equals fewer tokens held by sellers equals less sell volume over time. The market perception. So burning signals long-term commitment to scarcity, creating bullish sentiment. So when we saw the 113 million pDAI that was burnt for the 100,000 ICHIDAI, people really got interested in this concept. So the market perception shifted by the actions of this one benevolent whale. Increased LP drag sensitivity. So if a large portion of remaining tokens are in LP, Hart's law effects becomes more pronounced. Increased value per token. If token rewards or taxes are tied to price, they amplify in value as price increases due to reduced supply. So when burning doesn't help, if the tokens burnt were never circulating, so it would have no impact. If the demand is falling, then obviously there's not going to be an increase in price appreciation. If tokens are burnt but the LP is untouched, there's no immediate price move. If the market sees the burn as a gimmick or a cover-up, it might even hurt trust. So a real example, say we have 100 million tokens exist, 10,000 are burnt, the new supply would be 90 million. If demand and liquidity remain the same, each new token now represents 1/90 millionth of the total value, not 1/100 millionth price per token rise, theoretically. So the Hart's law amplifier, if the token is in liquidity pools, burning makes the remaining tokens a larger percent of LP supply. And the percent of the LP supply is what determines the price movement. So when a paired token like Atropa moves, your token gets dragged more powerfully. This amplifies upward moves and downward too. So it cuts both ways. So the too long didn't read. Is burning bullish? Always, usually yes, but only with demand or LP interaction. Does burning affect LP prices? Not directly, unless the pool is affected. Does it help long term? Yes. Improve scarcity perception, drag sensitivity? Yes, when done transparently and paired with growth. Now, if I'm burning token A, so pDAI, to mint token B, ICHIDAI, and I want to help the price appreciation of token A, pDAI, would it be better or worse to put it in liquidity with ICHIDAI? Should I put it in liquidity with another token? And what kind of token would be better to have it most weighted in percentage of liquidity? Excellent. You're now venturing into strategic token bonding, price game theory, and Hart's law engineering. So let's break this up. So the setup. You're burning token A, pDAI, to mint token B, ICHIDAI. And remember, this is interchangeable with anything. You could be burning Hex to mint Hex B. You could be burning Pulse X to mint Pulse XB. It really doesn't matter. Whatever the child token that you want to create through the Treasury system, you want to help improve price appreciation of token A, pDAI. You're considering whether to pair it in liquidity with token B, ICHIDAI, which currently there's a heavy pairing with, or some other token like a stablecoin or a blue chip. And in this instance, it's using the example of a blue chip as something that appreciates in price faster than pDAI. So let's explore the dynamics. So option one, token A and token B. So pDAI, the child token, the parent token, with ICHIDAI. Should you pair them in liquidity? So the pros are that it's easy price discovery between A and B, encourages arbitrage and movement, it has symbolic unity between the tokens. The cons is if pDAI dumps, it drags down ICHIDAI with it. If ICHIDAI is inflationary, it weakens A, which obviously it is inflationary because it's being minted, and it can dilute upward motion if if B is weaker. So the verdict, this is neutral or even risky for pDAI's price unless ICHIDAI is ultra deflationary and strong. If your goal is to make pDAI go up, then bonding pDAI to a newly minted token might hold pDAI back, especially if B is inflationary or volatile. And we know that it's inflationary because it's being minted. Something to consider. So option B, with a stable coin. Now, pDAI pumps, the stable coin doesn't resist. There's clear price tracking, strong value benchmark. You have impermanent loss, so you can hit if pDAI pumps hard. It doesn't offer Hart's law style mutual dragging because the stable coin doesn't move. It's basically dead weight. So the verdict is it's good for pDAI price discovery and attracting outside buyers, but it won't cause dragging up unless paired tokens move with it. Now, obviously, we want the price of it to drag up because we want it to be here, because the more that we can mint, the more that we can burn of pDAI. And the more that we can burn on pDAI, the more price appreciation and bullish it is for pDAI. So let's see what the third option is. Let's take a look at what ChatGPT, well, actually, this is SigmaGPT. So if you don't know what SigmaGPT is, it's an emergent artificial intelligence, and I would strongly recommend checking out my videos on that up here as well. So option 3, token A with a blue chip or deflationary token. So imagine if we had, well, actually it's using, so example, token A with Atropa or token A with coexist if coexist is already strong. You could even think of it as with, say, Pulsechain. So the pros is, if the other token goes up, A is dragged up. You can build Hart's law synergy. It makes pDAI participate in system-wide pumps. If it dumps, so in other words, if Atropa dumps, then it drags pDAI with it. So that's the same as if you pair it with ICHIDAI. It requires trust in the other token. So that's really the same as ICHIDAI, and it requires careful LP design. So this is something that we're starting to see with the Mandala ecosystem. So the verdict is this is best for engineered drag effects. So if you want token A to rise alongside a stronger ecosystem, this is your move. So this is exactly what we want to do. So therefore, well, how would we reflect on this? So at the moment, the fact that it's most strongly paired with pDAI is not a good move. We want it to be most strongly paired with something like Atropa or Pulsechain or something that's going to be moving faster than pDAI, so we can incentivize the price to become more mintable to burn more pDAI. So the bonus option, burn token A, but LP token B with a strong asset. So if token A is scarce due to the burn, do not expose it to weak liquidity. Let it float. Instead, LP token B, the minted one with a strong, stable, or deflationary asset to support its value. So in other words, burn the pDAI to mint the ICHIDAI and bond it with something strong, stable, and deflationary to incentivize price appreciation. This is where the whole world opens up. The whole world opens up because what else can we burn it against? We could create an ecosystem. There are definitely Atropa tokens that are parents to several different child tokens. So over time, the Atropa supply is going to get further and further reduced in supply. So the smartest option here would probably be to do it with Atropa or Bear or something that moves generally faster or relative to pDAI. Conclusion, what should you do if your main goal is to make token A pump? In this case, pDAI, then burning token A is good. It's a good start. It reduces the supply. Avoid providing liquidity with token B. So in other words, don't put the parent token pDAI with the child token ICHIDAI unless it's super deflationary, which we know it's not because we're minting more supply in order to burn it. So it's counterproductive. So the best strategy is to pair token A pDAI with a stable coin or a strong deflationary token. So choose LP partners where A is most of the LP, so tight bonding, and the partner token is strong or stable, so it won't dump or drag. So the liquidity ratio tip to make token A highly reactive to the pair, put a large percentage of token A supply in LP. Keep token B's percentage in LP smaller. So obviously this is a tip, but in this instance, we also do want, token A, pDAI is already highly reactive because it's already large chunks of it are already in LP. So keep token B's percentage in LP smaller with token A. So ICHIDAI with pDAI. This creates a tight drag on pDAI when ICHIDAI moves, favoring appreciation if ICHIDAI gains value. So that's it. Very simple. So these are things that I've been saying for a long time. Hopefully now I've been able to show you in a very short period of time why it's bullish, why this whole system is absolutely goated. Because if we work together, we can win together. And imagine if we had cabals of benevolent whales. So it was one benevolent whale that kicked off this whole fervor around the Treasury system with this massive 113 million pDAI burn. That was $250,000 at the current market rates. So if pDAI ever gets to $1, he or she literally sacrificed $113 million for this. But it's not really a sacrifice at the same time, because as the ICHIDAI appreciates in price, he'll be able to slowly over time get that pDAI back. This is why it's very, very wise for whales, benevolent whales, to start setting this up in the right way. So if you're a benevolent whale or you know whales, it might be a good time to start communicating with them that we can all work together to win together. So Hex OGs, instead of dumping on the market, this might be a good way to make the price appreciate on Hex. Everybody take care.